Hello everyone. The Irish government just continue to gaslight the people of Ireland. And the latest iteration of this was a video issued by the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage over the weekend, offering, wait for it, advice for people who move back in with their family members due to the housing disaster. Of course, maybe the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage would be better served on trying to help resolve the housing disaster. But no, maybe that would be too much of a stretch for them. And it's easier to offer advice for those who have to move back in with their parents. This is outrageous. In a recent survey, nearly 300,000 people are so-called hidden homeless. They aren't included in the official homeless figures. Many who have to move back in with family members, if they're lucky enough, because of the extortionate rents, the lack of rental supply, and the lack of affordability in terms of a house to buy. And notwithstanding, we have mass immigration. We have mass immigration also in terms of record numbers coming in and putting pressure on services and, of course, pushing accommodation costs up. But rather than trying to resolve these crises, no, it's easier to do a video and pay maybe a few influencers to share it and say, offer advice on how to move back in with family members. Now, the script in this was really unbelievable. Wait and until you hear what was spoken about in this video. It said moving back in with family members after living out of home takes some getting used to. Well, I'm sure it does. And they said, we have some steps to make transition easier for you and your family. Oh, they have great transition steps for people who have to move back in with their family members. Sharing as an adult is way different to sharing as a child. Time apart, you've all grown as people, developed different living needs and expectations. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, you have absolutely when you have to move back home because of the unaffordable rents and because of the scarcity as well if you're not looking for a ticket to Australia. Now, it's also about offering more openly, talking openly around these issues as well. If there's any difficulties or if there's any conflict, it's resolve these issues. And also, there should be house rules such as paying rent and doing housework. Now, put your comments. Please comment on this. This is absolutely just remarkable, and that's why I'm doing a video. And you just could not make this up. This looks like something like Waterford Whispers will make up, and I'm sure they would be very, really top of the class if they came up with this sort of nonsense that was spun by the Department of Housing. James Brown, the famous housing minister, the latest in line to not resolve the housing disaster, a man who came out with a recent plan without any targets. Well, that's a great plan, isn't it? Now, of course, on top of the house rules, he said you have to communicate with your family members and to help out around the house with household chores. And it really shows you that you're more independent by helping out with those household chores when you're moving back in with family members. And maybe set yourself a goal and save money so you can get that elusive, unaffordable house that you've always dreamed of. It's just remarkable. Because of deliberate government policies, this is being really created. This is what the whole system is about. It's benefiting those that have, and those that don't are left without, essentially as inequalities deepen in Irish society. And wait for it, they're better served by getting a video to try and offer advice to people who have moved back in with their family. Lost for words. Lots for words. How it's really like they've thrown their hands up at the housing disaster, not that they had any intention of trying to resolve it or solve it in the first instance whatsoever, despite what they talk about, because they themselves and their system and the manufacturer policies have created this disaster. And of course, it's been accentuated in terms of the volume of people coming into the country. And many, for instance, I've spoken about a video, non-European Union members, people from various countries buying houses. There's no restriction on anybody from any country around the world buying homes. And of course, that has an impact on pushing property prices up. But that shows you how ludicrous Ireland has become, just a corporation, an offshoot of Brussels, and have no interest in building a solid, strong society that puts the needs of our people first. And when you consider many who have to move back home are in situations where they're in their 30s, 40s. I've heard of even people in their 50s who have to move back home because of the unaffordable rents that they were paying and the risk of eviction. And now we have record evictions being served in the next number of months also, which is going to really worsen the homeless disaster. But again, the nonsense will continue and the gaslighting will continue, and I'm sure maybe one or two will fall for it, but hopefully more people wake up to what's taking place. So thanks for supporting my videos. Please share this video far and wide to talk about the nonsense that they try and spin through their social media channels and through the mainstream media as well. Complete and utter public relations nonsense that people need to stop falling for, and call them out for this absolute garbage that they're trying to ram down people's throats. Thanks for the support, really appreciate it, and please subscribe to my channel as well. So, slán go fóill, take care.